Joel Miller from The Last of Us. What are you doing here? Jim Hopper from Stranger Things. What are you doing here? Oh, I don't know. You want to help me fight some demogorgons? Yeah. You want to help me fight a horde of clickers? Yeah. Bro hug? Bro hug. Friends! Hello! Welcome back to Amethyst Craftworks. I'm Samantha, and I hope you are having a fabulous Friday today, because I sure am. I hope you are as well, and maybe if you're not, then maybe the video that I've got for you today will brighten things up for you, because I've got for you another episode of... What have you done? Now, these episodes are my version of a crochet show and tell, where we go over things that I have finished, completed all the way through, and we talk about the yarn and the inspiration and the pattern and all of that good stuff. I hope you're as excited as I am for this episode, because I've got some good things for you today, as you have seen but a taste of already. But I have some things to show off to you, some fun finished objects. And so if you were down for that on a Friday fun day, on a Friday morning, then I don't have any coffee here with me, but grab a cup just for me, and let's get actually into the update. Now, the first thing that I am going to talk about are my two little men's right here. These are, I have to admit, some of the absolute best things that I have ever made in my entire crochet career. So first of all, I will link you in the description down there to the pattern. I got it off of Amazon. No, Etsy. There we go. Sorry, I'm filming at the end of my day today, and so my brain's a little fried. I'm a little more frazzled than usual. You get me right. But yes, it's from Etsy. Etsy. It is for a pattern for Joel. It was Joel from The Last of Us. Whether it is the video game version of Joel or the version that I prefer, which is a certain Mr. Pedro Pascal's TV series version. Either way, I think this fits quite nicely with Joel's aesthetic. Look at him. Mustache. Beard. He's got quite a deep V. I think I maybe flubbed that a little bit, but that's okay. He can be bare chest Joel, that's fine. And yeah, he's so good. And he was a birthday present for Bestie Lauren. Her birthday just recently passed, and I'm so proud of him. I did have to ask to borrow him back just to put him in a video because he was too cute not to. And I did have to show off his brother from another mother as well. Same pattern. Everything is pretty much the same, except I didn't do the beard on Mr. Jim Hopper here. He was my project for the Stranger Summer Make-Along from Heather. If you're familiar with Heather, if you're familiar with Heather's channel, then you know how much this man, maybe not this version of this man, but you will know how much this man means to her. And so I spent quite a lot of time trying to finagle a decent version of Hopper in like plushie form. I had initially meant to make Joel for Bestie Lauren's birthday as a part of her birthday present. And as I was making him, I was like, you know, he's got a collared shirt on and a mustache, jeans. If I maybe took the beard off and the little fringe on his hair and maybe tried a different pattern, a different yarn on the shirt, he would look very similar to a Mr. Jim Hopper. And so that's what I did. If you will remember way back now, I was talking about trying to find a pink and mint, there we go, a pink and mint or a peach and mint, peach and green yarn, and it was for Hopper, right? It was for his shirt, his season 3 Hawaiian Miami Vice, no, Magnum PI, that's it, not Miami Vice, Magnum PI shirt. And I never really found a 100% good match. I had one from Michaels, it was peach and green and like white and tan. Wasn't quite right. The pink I ended up using is a Karen 1 pound, Karen Jumbo, a variegated Karen yarn that had pink, dark pink, white, and tan in it. And then since this shirt piece is just a separate piece that you sew on to the body, I just willy-nilly kind of changed color mid-row in a few rows and just sprinkled some mint in. And I think that worked pretty good. Here, I'll put a picture up over here of the inspiration and the result. It's like what you order online versus what you get in the mail, right? And I am so proud of these two dudes. So proud. I think they're very cute and they're very wobbly and, you know, their heads aren't quite stuffed as good as they should be. Joel's head is a little off kilter and so is Hopper's. But I adore them and and I think they're so funny. They really crack me up. I am so tickled by them. So yeah, that's the first thing here on this What Have You Done? Now moving on to another part of Bestie Lauren's present. Unfortunately, I no longer have this to show you, but I did take some pictures of it before I gave it off to her. As you do. If you're a crocheter and you make gifts, I trust... I'm sure I'm not the only one that takes pictures of the project before I give it off, just so I can show it off a little, right? So, I'll put the pictures up over there. I made her a pillowcase of bears. Now, if you will remember back to, I think the last What Have You Done? I think I showed off a baby blanket that I had made for a friend of a friend, for a family member, essentially, who's having a baby very, very soon. Like, the countdown is on. It's so soon. But the baby blanket was made of solid granny squares, and then granny squares with little teddy bear faces on it, and it was so stinking cute. And Bestie Lauren helped me not only find the pattern to use for that blanket, but she also loves bears. Like, I would say dogs or... Oh, Spike. Bro. He's having all kinds of issues back there, I tell you what. Anyway, so, like, dogs or little Ralphie dogs and also cats are my kind of spirit animal. Bestie Lauren's spirit animal is for sure bears. And so I made her 4 bear squares that I made into a pillowcase, and then I attached them all with Heather's continuous join, and then I did the back in the moss stitch in all the colors that the bears were in. And then I attached it and made a flap, and I also put some really cute bear, like, wooden buttons on the back, too. And inside, it's got a just plain black pillowcase, like cotton pillowcase. And everything comes off the pillow insert, the pillow form. It's all washable, all that good stuff. And yeah, that was also part of her birthday present. I did make her a hat, a hot pink hat for the upcoming winter. As you know, it is for sure coming. But the pillowcase and Joel were the big handmade gifts that I made for her. And so yeah, those are the first things that I was going to show off here for ya. The next thing that I have to show ya, I just put on. Now, I will say this will not last the entire episode, because as flouncy and drapey and wonderful as this is, it is quite warm here today in my neck of the woods. I don't fancy sitting here even with my AC on in a Cocoon sweater. But I did want to show it off to you because it turned out just so fantastic, I tell you what. So it is made with the black and white is Red Heart Super Saver stripes and zebra. The Halloween confetti is the Halloween celebration yarn from Hirschner's. And these few stripes right here that you can see, just the black and orange, is also Hirschner's. It was the remainder of a ball of their MVP yarn that I had in black and orange that I just kind of striped through, pretty much just to use it. And I love this thing. This thing is so flouncy and like lacy, and even though it's 4-weight acrylic, it is quite lightweight, although again it's too hot to be wearing this currently for too long. I used a pattern from Yarn Utopia, which I'll link down there in the description. It used a 8mm hook with worsted weight yarn, which means these stitches are big. They are big, and they're also got, like, big gaps in them, right? And it's just one big granny square. That's all it is. You make a big granny square, as many rounds as you want. I just kind of went until I had used 2 full skeins of the celebration yarn, along with, I did like 3 rows, I think. 1, 2, 3, yeah, of the MVP yarn. And then you kind of cinch it together along the side. I don't know if you'll ever even be able to see it. Probably not. Oh, you kind of can't. No, you really can't. That's the edge where I seamed it together. And that makes the armhole, right? And then you just put a border on as you want to put a border on. I just did a couple of rounds of double crochets with stripy black and white yarn. And it turned out fabulous. I love it. I do wish, even though today is, well, the day you were seeing this is September 1st. I'm recording this on August 31st. So tomorrow is officially, unofficially, the start of spooky season, in my opinion. But it is nowhere near spooky season weather, at least in my area. Maybe it is in yours. Fingers crossed that it is. But yeah, I don't know, really. I think I'm in a sweater cardigan moment, a cardigan era, if you will, in my life, because not only do I have this, finished, I also showed you 2 cardigans in my last What Have You Done? But wait, there is more. I'm not exactly sure if you were ever even going to see this hat that I have put upon my head. It is quite lacy, so you can see the blue through it. But it is a fiber spider pattern. I'll link you down below, of course, to it. I just sort of had a random ball of black yarn sitting beside my desk. And while I was editing videos and things, you know, as you do, I just started making it. I made, gosh, 5 or 6 versions of this hat. Hold on, I'll just take it off, mess my hair up. It is the cloister shell hat. There, you can really see the laciness. I made like 5 or 6 of these hats a couple of Christmases ago for friends and friends of friends and family and so on and so forth. And I never made one for me. And since I made so many of them, I flat out memorized that pattern. And so I made one, but I made it a little short. I was running out of yarn, and I think I know from Biber Spider's pattern, I should have gone one more repeat of the lacy cloister shell pattern. And I didn't have enough. I just went straight to the border and brim. So it's a little short. It's not quite as slouchy. It reads very much beret when I wear it, right? Which is fine. It's not exactly the look that I was going for, but that's fine. You know, it's whatever. That's not really the last thing I wanted to show you. The last thing in actuality that is related to cardigans is 2 front panels of a work in progress cardigan that I am making, and I am using it as a template, kind of as like a practice run for the movie marquee. I'm making it with granny squares and then sewing all those granny squares together. In fact, I'm using the same pattern, so Heather's tutorial for the solid granny square. Same hook, which happens to be a 5.5 clover hook. The same weight of yarn. Some of it is the same yarn brand, but it's not all the same yarn. But it's the same weight of yarn. And if you follow me on Instagram, if you don't, you should. But if you do, you saw me posting these granny squares. At the time, I was just kind of playing around with the yarns and trying to figure out, there you can really see, there we go. I was really trying to figure out what I wanted to do with them. And in doing so, I kind of decided I'm going to do a practice run of my movie marquee challenge cardigan. So this is one front panel, all connected together. And then this, let me make sure I've got it right way around. I think so. And this is the second front panel, right? So this spot here, this black, it's black. This black granny square is a placeholder. Not even a placeholder, really. It's just the inside of what's going to be a pocket. I'm going to put another square right on top of the black square there to make a pocket. The other yarns, though, are Witch's Potion from Joann's Big Twist. This is what it looks like worked up, at least in a granny square. This is Bernat Super Value. I believe the color is Fresh Lilacs. This was a gift to me from Heather last year for Christmas. I finally was like, you know what? It matches green and purple, green and purple. Let's use it, right? I want to wear Heather, right? And then more of the Super Saver stripes and zebra. And this yarn, as well as the center, this like magenta, solid magenta color, that, and this, and, whoops, that's backwards. This are all the same yarn. And it was also a gift to me from Vicky. Not Crafty Cat Mom. Cat Mom Crafts, that's it. She and I did a little yarn exchange, and she sent me an extra skein, partial skein, of a Variegated, no, it's more stripes. It's longer than variegated. This is what I consider variegated, right? This is stripes. Um, anyway, she sent me an extra partial skein of like a stripy purple and white and lilac and magenta yarn. And so I was like, that matches so good. It matches the, how do I, there you can see them together. It matches the Witch's Potion so nicely. And so I thought these four would make a fabulous cardigan. This is the front panel. Now, I will say, there, it is big. They are going to overlap these panels. In fact, if I, like you can see, like this is the middle of my side here. If I pull them, they do overlap a bit in the middle here. And you know what? I don't even think I care. Because to be honest, I will very likely kind of fold them down to make like a lapel on this cardigan. And on my other cardigan with all the appliques and everything, I'm just going to make it work however it wants to work, right? You get me. I think, though, that it's a good practice to make sure I like know what I'm doing when it comes to December. Because not only do I have, in December, I have to make the 6 granny squares. I have to make the applique, sew it on. I have to hide all the tails on all my granny squares. I have to assemble either the full back panel or at least part of it, because I will have squares in December to add to it, as well as the sleeves, construct them or finish them, and then construct the entire cardigan. So all the pieces together. And then do any finishing touches, borders, edging, trimming, ribbing, whatever, right? And then, not even just that, I also have the Stitch and Scream blanket to assemble and put on my bed, and also get a new comforter and bedding and all of that, right? So I've got a busy December. So I thought doing a trial run here, knowing what I'm doing, trying to figure it all out, I thought that was probably the best thing that I could do for my sanity in December. Because that's, of course, in December, those are not the only things that I'm going to be doing. I'm also going to be running around like a chicken with its head cut off and trying to bake and make other things and prepare for the holidays. And, you know, I've got 2 little kiddos in my life to make and buy for, and so on and so forth. And so the idea of that, and the idea that that is only a few months away, like makes me want to hyperventilate. So I am maintaining here. But having a trial run done of this cardigan, this style of cardigan, is not a bad idea. And in the process, I get a second cute black, white, purple, green, etc. cardigan out of it. So I'm good with that. And with all of that said, I have nothing else to show you. Those are the things that I've got to show you. The end of my Stranger Summer Make-Along project, a few birthday gifts, a cardigan, a hat, and then the beginnings to another cardigan, right? I've been busy, what can I say? And I will have more time to work on personal projects, things for me, because you guys will see very likely in the next What Have You Done? Whenever that comes out, I'm aiming for sometime here in September for that to come out. You will see why I have been kind of sporadic with these What Have You Done videos. You will see what I have been doing all year long. I have hinted at this many times, so you will soon see what it is that I was talking about and working on, and why now I suddenly have more time to make apparently 8,000 cardigans, right? And so anyway, thank you so much for joining me here today. Thank you for leaving me a like, a comment, and a subscribe today, because I would love to have you join us here. And until I've got another something for you, I will just let you go. Take care. Goodbye.